Greetings everyone. I'm going to show you how to reuse a media piece of code. So whether it's a video carousel here, or whether it is multiple videos or multiple of images, it's always going to be the same piece of code that does them all. And I'm going to show you how to reuse that piece of code. And it's just going to be on this template here. As you can see, I use the same template in here, and if there's only one image, it just doesn't have the buttons. But, you know, you can have as many images and videos as you want. Same code. Now, how am I doing this? There's a couple of steps. And so basically, I'm talking about this data here. As you can see, when it comes into info, we identify it with these section, title, the content, and the media. Now the media always has, like, if it's an image, it's going to have basically this slash in it. And when it comes to videos, well, they don't have that kind of thing. Coincidentally, the videos are just an 11-character thing from YouTube. And as you can see there, they don't use slashes. So remember that when you're pointing out the info, when you go through this info. And there's 3 different companies here, so as you can see, you can use as many as you want on the same template, and they're going to have an info section that will be always going to be similar to this. And as you can see, we're pointing out things in a bootstrap column section. And so as we write out these things, you'll notice that they have a tag on one of the column 6s, one of the half of the column, says data media, and it's incremented. Because these are the identifiers that we'll be looping through to get our application to work. And here's one right here, and as you can see, there's one right here. And so those initially are in the code as we loop through. Now, how is this done? Okay, so we're going to go through all the data media that got punched out, and we're going to find out if it has, like I said, a slash in the string or not. And if it has a slash in the string, it's going to go to the image carousel. If it doesn't, it's going to go to the YouTube carousel. Now, once we have that, we're going to go through here and start putting in our data based on what that media number is. See here? And we're going to tell it, hey, as long as this is going to be an image, we know the data media identifier here because we saved it here. And so go ahead and put in what it takes to build in an image and all of the buttons it's going to take. And obviously here would be what image you're on, and here is going to be like those little dots that go across horizontally that identify which one is active. Now remember, these are going to come in handy later because they're going to tell us which one's active based on when we come around and ask. So you do the same thing that's the images, and here's where you do it if it actually does have a slash in it, because that would be showing you a path to an image. Whether it's HTTP or it's in your file system, it's going to have a slash. So there you go. I'm looking for the slash. If it has that, or if it doesn't have the slash, I'm basically saying, okay, this is a YouTube character. And so there's no slash in it, and I need to build out the YouTube media. And I know, first and foremost, by default, just like the other one, the first one is going to be 0. So we can just hit the default on that, which is basically this guy right here. It would be the first one on 0. So anyway, it just lands on 0, and it just waits for you to start doing it. And also, you see how we've made these carousel index here, and we have one here. After we've built out all these players, I'm going to do some for loops. As you can see here would be for the video. I'm going to find that video counter based on the identifier, and then we can go ahead and put how many of them there are, and then we're going to build out the index of the little circles, and we'll have the first one be active. Now, this will come in later when we start selecting the videos. Same thing goes for the images. I'm going to do a for loop through all the images. They will be identified by the image counter ID number that we applied earlier. And here we'll put the length, and here we'll build out the little circles that identify the slider index. And so from here, we'll go ahead and put that out there, and we've built out what was already applied. We just added to it the little dots. And here was going to be our function that's going to move the images. Now, here is the carousel itself that we basically fire off once these images are running. And as you can see here, here's one, we have to pass a couple of things. I'm passing it whether it's a previous or next button, because we have one of each. I got to tell it what is it, a video or a media, or is it an image? Video or image is the option here. And then what identifier is it? And as we can see here, from here, it's data media 4, and so I'm passing data media 4 along with it. And that's fine. So we go back. We establish that it's going to be the default, and then we ask it, hey, if this is an image, which one from the media number we're talking about has the active? You know what I'm saying? So I'm asking it which one, and it's this one here, has the active. Active. And it looks to be 15. Okay? Well, that's the thing. That's the placeholder for our JavaScript. We don't save it in the JavaScript. We save that in the HTML, because otherwise we wouldn't know which one you're talking about. But since we do know which one has the active, we now know which one's the active image. And here we would do it, hey, if the media is a video, tell me which one has that active class, because only one of them can have it. And then we'll go ahead and set it there, and we can move on. And by the way, we also need to figure out which one is image addresses and which one is videos. And based on the media type we've punched through, either image or video, we will know, and we will fill that array up and start going through next or previous, which is right here for the next. And technically it's doing the same thing for video as it does for image, and also for the previous. And that's that. So what we've done is a 3-step process. We basically write out the player, and then we build out the index, and then we wait until we start asking, which one do you want to move? And when it says, okay, well, here's the index, here's the data, now tell us which one is it, we'll be heading out to either set active video or set active image based on that. So it's like a 3-step process. But that is how you can get this to work. So let me see here. Yeah, so here's your example. And you can see it here. It all gets started here. And obviously, if you go back to the main page, here's this example here, and you can see it in action. Same function every time. Yep. So that's that. I hope you learned something on how to basically reuse a piece of code and have this multiple times over. And I'll be honest, when you load something up that has thousands and thousands of images, this is the way to go, because you're not asking it to pull down any images other than the first one, and that'll be that. So it makes it a lot easier to load up, because it doesn't load up the next image until you ask, because it has no idea what you're going to ask for until you do. I hope you learned something. Thanks for tuning in.